Hello everyone, my name's JoshJrumJrastic and welcome to another suggested video. In today's suggested video, we are going to be watching, what's his name? Nexpo. Nexpo? Nexpo? I don't know how to pronounce his name, and I'm sorry. But anyways, guys, as always, if you enjoy this kind of content, consider leaving a like on the video. It'd be very much appreciated. And if you're new here, hi, I'm Josh, and this is what I do. I react to videos, and sometimes I play video games. So if you enjoy that kind of content, consider subscribing and share my videos with friends so they may grow and we can all watch and play some awesome videos and video games together. And if you have any suggestions of any videos you'd like me to watch, go down in the comments below, leave me the link or title to the video, and I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can. Anyways, this video is called The Dark Side of Reddit. This person didn't really give me a specific video, so I just chose his most popular video, just because apparently if everyone likes it, then it must be a good video, right? So we shall see. We'll see if it's a good video. It has the most views, so don't blame me if it's not good. Anyways, it's 16 minutes long. Make sure you have your water with you. Water is very important. And yeah. Let's begin, shall we? Oh, pause it.
Last night, we told you the chilling story of a Quebec woman arrested for hacking into people's personal computers and spying on them through their webcams. It's not the only creepy thing hackers can do. In fact, right now, a website out of Russia is streaming hacked security cameras and webcams into dozens here in Canada.
National Health Service demanding ransom
website broadcasts pictures from tens of thousands of private web cameras, peering into the lives of unsuspecting victims across the globe.
And
like inside a little shop in Amarillo.
Keep in mind that someone may be watching you.
And trust me, I turned off my camera almost every single time, but it's a phone, so I know those are a little bit more difficult to hack into than just a normal like baby monitor.
Reddit is one of the biggest forums on the internet today, and as of 2016, the site has amassed over 236 million unique viewers with over 8 billion page views per month. This goes without saying that with all the posts and conversations taking place there on a daily basis, there's bound to be some weird and disturbing stuff hidden beneath the surface and waiting to be found.
It's Reddit.
Today, ReignBot and I are going to be sharing with you some hidden gems from the dark and disturbing side of Reddit.
And you're also going to be sharing me an ad.
I've always loved sci-fi.
Not really.
And the idea of being right on the edge of discovery and...
Nah. I kind of love the ads.
A user by the name of Yay Video Games seemed to be active on many gaming subreddits before a stunt on one post that resulted in him getting banned.
What was it?
A few years ago, a user named I Wish I Was a Meme made a post in the gaming subreddit asking what everyone's favorite mods were for Elder Scrolls Oblivion. As expected, users chimed in with their recommendations on what to install. However, things began to get a bit weird when Yay Video Games responded. His initial response seemed quite normal and sarcastic and read, "The uninstall button. The game is great and all that, but god, it is hard to fully remove all the junk it leaves behind on your system. You really need to check out that mod when the time comes to get rid of it. Otherwise, I think Ascuro's Oblivion overhaul is a nice start." Now, this is nothing out of the ordinary, right? I thought so too. A user, who since deleted their account, responded with a simple "what?", which prompted Yay Video Games to reply with this: "The uninstall button. The game is great. Ubisoft goes Steamworks bye-bye always on DRM, but you oft go work. Always on work DR. Check out the junk it leaves behind in you." Now after reading this, we can assume that he must have been carelessly typing, or he could have been tired or something like that. Still, nothing too out of the ordinary. The other guy we mentioned then responds once more stating this: "That makes even less sense. Oblivion has an uninstall button and it works. I've used it more times than I care to mention. All mods install themselves in Oblivion's directory. The uninstall doesn't touch them as it's unaware. All you do is delete the Oblivion directory." After this, it just begins to get weird. Yay Video Games then begins responding with the same phrase,
so confused.
"Ubisoft goes Steamworks bye-bye, always on DRM," over and over to the point where he floods the guy's comment thread with countless replies stating that same phrase. Jumping over to another post in gaming by another user who since deleted their account, we can see a post titled Ubisoft Goes Steamworks Bye Bye, always on DRM, which contains a link to a page which now 404s. In this thread, we can see a few groups of people. 1. People actually talking about Ubisoft and their apparent split from DRM on their games. 2. People freaking out and wondering what the hell's going on. And 3. Yay Video Games and a congregation of other users repeatedly posting different spins on that same phrase. Now right here you might initially be able to pass this guy off as a spammer, and to be quite honest I felt the same way. It, however, gets interesting when you realize the fact that this guy commented this mess over 4,000 times. Not only does he do that, he also formats each comment differently, with some being self-referential, some containing bold, some containing italics, some containing links, and the vast majority, if not all of them, having unique spelling and length. This guy did more than copy and paste, and to be quite honest it doesn't stop there. I had just mentioned that Yay Video Games had included links in his comments, and I wanted to share some of those with you. As we can see, the links are sporadically placed within letters and random assortments of words that all take a spin on his initial phrase. Each link takes us to an image that seems to get more and more disturbing and weird as we go along. Now as we can see, most of these appear to be completely random, and there are honestly quite a few that come off as pretty funny. We have one that depicts a drawing of Asian people laughing in underwear while others standing across from them appear to be holding an imaginary gun. We have one that depicts a person in a witch hat with an explosion in the background.
Looks like artwork.
There's another that shows a lady pouring milk onto the ground. And there's another that appears to be a distorted person diving into the ground on a beach. It's honestly pretty random, however it gets interesting when we discover the fact that embedded in one of his comments is this. Now at this point, this seems to be what we've gathered so far. 1. We have an unknown person who seemed to have undergone a change of some sort, leading him to post the same phrase over and over again. 2. The person seems to have self-referential and uniquely formatted comments that would take some time to make. And 3. The comments seem to have a random assortment of bizarre images embedded throughout, with the most notable one being the actual writing of the same phrase that's being posted. Nobody seems to be able to have any explanation for this, although there are many theories that have been thrown around, ranging from a guy who actually snapped and went insane, to a very sophisticated bot that ran the helm of this entire fiasco. Lastly, if anyone tries to access his Reddit profile, they'll simply be met with the 404, and that's it.
Then hack his Reddit. What? Isn't this entire thing about hacking?
A user on a throwaway account called IDK What Even Is This made a post about a year ago on the relationship advice subreddit, claiming that she had found a random digital camera hidden away under her kitchen sink. She began by stating that her and her husband's relationship is pretty happy-go-lucky, and that nothing really out of the ordinary tends to happen. She's still waiting on her work authorization since she's fairly new to the US, and because of that she has a lot of free time to poke around the house. She stated that one day she randomly stumbled upon an old, dusty biscuit tin while cleaning under her kitchen sink, and began to look inside when she noticed a very well-kept digital camera. After turning it on, she realized that there were random assortments of images taken in pairs of only her things. For instance, she claims that she found 2 respective photos of her purse hanging on their dining room chair, followed by 2 pictures of her makeup, and then 2 pictures of her keys on the kitchen counter, and so on and so forth.
Okay.
Following this, she claimed that she didn't quite know what to make of it, if she should even bring it up, and that she was completely confused as to why her husband would do this.
Maybe he didn't
Commenters responded to this with theories being thrown all over the place. In regards to the photos being in pairs, they suggested that the husband possibly didn't know how to properly operate the camera, and like many people, held down the button for too long, resulting in the pictures coming out in pairs.
So he was attempting to
Also, in regards to the photos of the items themselves, well, there have been claims that, 1, he could be doing it to possibly ensure that he didn't get her a birthday or a Christmas gift of something that she already has. 2, he's shuffling through her items when she's not around and possibly dressing up and using her things without her knowledge as some sort of fetish.
Why?
3, he thinks that there's a ghost haunting the house and wants to make sure that the items are where they left them. Or 4, he's doing it for insurance purposes in case anything were to happen to these items.
Insurance purposes. That's what I was thinking.
Now, I want to take a moment to pick some of these apart. In regards to theory...
Alright, so I think he was just trying to take a photo. He just needed to take a photo, or he was trying to learn how to use the camera, so he just took photos of random stuff. I take photos of random stuff all the time when I'm trying to figure out how to use a camera. Don't you? Make sure the thing is dialed in correctly and stuff. Like, Now, for why he put it down in the sink, I don't know. Just had nowhere else to put it. Maybe he just left it there and decided to forget about it. I don't know. Maybe he put it inside the basket and the basket was accidentally put inside the underneath the thing. So that's what I think would happen. He got this camera, started messing with it, trying to figure out how it worked. Didn't really know how it worked. Took a couple photos of a couple different items. Put it inside of a basket when they recently moved in. Put it inside of a basket. That basket got filled up with some probably soaps or something, I don't know. And then they stuck it underneath the sink because it had soaps in it. And they forgot that they had the camera in there. And he just forgot about the camera. Problem solved. I fix it. We don't need all this stupid stuff about him having weird fetishes.
One, the gift thing would make sense. However, she also stated that he had taken pictures of her keys, which essentially voids this claim. Theory 2, while weird as shit, could be a sensible one, with the husband ensuring that he leaves her used items where they initially were.
No.
However, if he was actually doing this, and depending on how big he is, then she most likely would have noticed her things being stretched or maybe her makeup being used, so to be quite honest, this seems unlikely.
Yeah.
Regarding theory number 3, I honestly think it's silly.
It's
First
stupid.
off, why the hell would he hide these photos from his wife? And also, if there was actually something weird going on in the house, the wife would most definitely have noticed, since she seems to be the one that's home most of the time anyway.
95% sure I'm right.
Lastly, with number 4 being the most logical and least extreme theory,
I agree with that
once
one,
again,
but
why would he be compelled to hide the camera in a dusty biscuit tin under the sink without telling his wife?
He didn't.
It just
accidentally
doesn't
put it
add
in
up,
there.
and it's left a lot of people, including
then they put
myself,
the tin
confused and intrigued.
bin in there.
All in all, she hasn't been heard from since she never returned to follow up on the story.
Oh, well.
It's all pretty sketchy, and I'm still curious exactly what this guy was doing with all those pictures and what he could have been hiding.
Oh my god, I'm not. I literally solved it. Not even solved it. I gave you the best plausible thing that happened. 1, he didn't know how to work the camera. He just got the camera just to mess around with it. He didn't know how it worked. Or maybe he found the camera. I don't know. Maybe he found the camera and tried to figure out if it still worked. So he tried to take a couple photos of things. And it was just objects he had around in the house. Whatever was closest to him. And then he tried to take a good photo of like her makeup setup. You know, he tried to take a good photo. And it probably, I don't know, he didn't know if it worked or not. So he tried to take a photo of keys or something on the counter just to make sure it worked. I don't know. And then, you know, he puts the thing inside of a basket that's just out and he just leaves it there. And then, you know, some time passes and the basket gets put underneath the sink for some unknown reason. Nobody really cares. And then out of nowhere, she's just cleaning the house and then all of a sudden there's a camera, blah, 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 just random stuff on it. Like, it's literally just not even that... Closing this. It's literally not even that interesting. Now that's interesting.
A user named Poisoned by Mom used a throwaway account to make a post in the Off My Chest subreddit claiming that he believed that he was being poisoned by his own mother. He walked us through his backstory, claiming that since he had become an adult, his mother had become extremely manipulative and was completely against him moving out of the house and getting on his feet. He stated that he originally landed a job as a line cook, with his parents constantly reminding him that they're against it. Fast forward, and he eventually left due to health reasons, and after this, got another job as a computer programmer. He claims that while he had this job, his mother and sister had become very hostile, which eventually led to him moving out of the house to live on his own. After working for the programming company for a short while, they eventually let him go, which forced him to have to move back home. For a while during his stay back with his family, he claims that everything seemed to go well until he began getting calls from recruiters, which led them to become hostile once again. They began throwing remarks at him along the lines of the idea that he didn't love them anymore and that he hated them. It was super manipulative stuff.
Yeah, time to leave.
Eventually, he landed the gig at the programming company once more, and the day before he was scheduled to move out, his mother randomly gave him 2 ramen noodle cups and various other food items to eat while he was away. He knew that she knew that he didn't have any money, so that's why he initially assumed that she was actually somewhat helping him out, all hostility aside. After his first day at his new job in place, he ate one of the cups of ramen and began to feel ill. He stated that he felt this way before after his sister once fed him something bad a few years prior. He said he felt weak, lightheaded, and short of breath. Even more interestingly, his mother kept following up with him to ensure that he ate the ramen. This eventually led him to believe that, through researching on the internet, he was poisoned by his own mother with cyanide, since most of the symptoms that he was experiencing were the exact same as what he found online, and also due to the fact that his mother was eerily adamant on him eating his ramen. He went forward and bought a cyanide test kit online and posted his results, which appear to have come up positive. He then ended his post with a statement saying that he's going to call the cops and never talk to his family again, followed with an update that the authorities unfortunately couldn't do much with his kit since it was open. A few months later, he posted another update claiming that he was living out of a cheap motel in Kansas, and that apparently his mother had somehow found him and called the motel. She asked if she could speak with him, and the motel refused to give her his information since she couldn't prove that she was his mother. The motel then notified him of this, and we can assume that he felt unnerved. He stated that the next day for work, he left a little earlier than usual just to be safe. While at the bus stop, he noticed a strange and random car with the driver wearing an ominous black hood. Thinking back, he remembered that his mother had once told him that if she visited him, she would be in a rental car, and so he assumed that this was his mother dressed pretty strangely. After catching a glimpse of her face, he knew for sure that it was her, and she kept signaling for him to come closer to her, and that she only wanted a hug. He quickly refused, and proceeded to take another bus to his job, as she knows where his usual stop is now. After this, he then closed his last post by asking for advice, and if there are any other programming job openings around the area, in hopes of being able to move. His very last update was in a comment with him claiming that he did in fact find another job and is now living out of state in much better health.
Nice, good for him.
The creepiest part about this entire story is the fact that his mother, his own flesh and blood, attempted to manipulate him into staying home and living with her and her husband indefinitely. Generally, the very premise of someone's child getting on their feet and growing up as an adult is usually applauded by the parents. However, as we can see with our victim, this was definitely not the case. Furthermore, the fact that his own mother poisoned him for being successful and having the ability to move out on his own is astonishing to me. It's one thing to be disappointed and manipulative toward your child, however, it's a completely different story when you come to determine the fact that they attempted to kill him. With proper evidence, this family could be put in prison or jail. However, due to the unfortunate circumstances surrounding this, our victim can do nothing but cut them off and live his own separate life entirely.
Sounds good. Go live your separate life, man. Live your best life. Screw them.
You would think that an online program, they would be out of reach. Every chef that I've had thus far...
His family is literally the definition of toxic. Literally.
There's a subreddit called Controlable Webcams, where users can post direct links to accessible, unsecured, and vulnerable Wi-Fi cameras. This subreddit alone has 36,000 subscribers, and most of them seem to be active users. The posts range anywhere from public surveillance camera feeds to in-home Wi-Fi cameras of random stuff, ranging anywhere from displaying people as they sleep to as far as watching them go about their daily lives. There are many websites that are linked to this subreddit, with a notable one being the Nexpo directory. The Nexpo directory is essentially a compilation of live, vulnerable in-home Wi-Fi cameras that have been tapped into and submitted to the site. On this site in particular, we have the means to tap into feeds displaying backyards, churches, and even bedrooms, all in real time.
Well, I guess don't get a Nexpo.
Now, if you're not familiar with Nexpo, they're one of the top sellers of in-home Wi-Fi cameras, and if you don't know what the hell you're doing when you set it up, you can easily leave open a loophole that would allow you to be watched through the many, many directories that exist on both the surface and deep web, much like this one.
But that sucks.
The amount of people that are being watched through these directories without their knowledge is outrageous, and the problem really exists solely due to a disconnect of information between the internet provider, the Wi-Fi camera manufacturer, and simple user ignorance. Also, around the web exist many claims from users that claim to have an addiction to watching these webcams without the victim's knowledge. One user, for instance, made a claim that he indeed felt guilty about spying on people that have cameras set up all over their home, and even went as far to say that he felt morally that he should probably reach out to these people and let them know that their entire lives are being broadcast to the world. However, after some thought, he asked himself, why? The fun would be over. It is without a doubt creepy shit.
Boring.
And it makes you think just what the hell people are thinking when they do these sorts of things.
That's boring, creepy,
this
and
Reddit
moral.
community, however, is just a tiny implication of a much larger following that exists on the internet today.
Why would you?
There are, in fact, many more
What
hidden
makes that
websites
fun?
and directories out there that have surprisingly large user bases.
People. Why don't you just go watch
TV? If you do
TV?
any sort of digging on the subject, you'll be shocked at just how much you can really find out there. All in all, people tend to forget that anytime you use your phone, a camera is being centered upon your face, and this could be tapped into at any time. The same goes for your laptop and any other smart device that you may own.
That's why you must turn them off.
You can't be too safe these days, and if you've ever made fun of someone who has their laptop cameras covered or anything like that, I'd think about that for a minute and consider the fact that you could someday stumble upon a feed of yourself somewhere out there.
Well, technically,
as we said before, Reddit is one of the largest forums on the internet today, and like we just discussed, there's clearly a disturbing and dark side to the site. We hope you all enjoyed this, and I wanted to give a very huge and special thank you to ReignBot for joining me in this project. Be sure to go over to her channel as well and give her some love, and a big thank you also. Anyway, like always, keep throwing me your creepiest suggestions of videos, internet posts, and websites, and I'll be sure to look into them. Thank you so much for watching. I love you all, and once again, good night.
So, I don't know. I don't know who would want to hack my stuff. I'm pretty boring. Most of the time, I'm not even in my room. Most of the time, my door's closed and nothing's even in my room. Most of the time, it's just pitch black in here because I go to work. So, literally, I don't get them. I don't get that. Never will. That's messed up. Someone should really do something about that. But whatever. Anyways, guys, as always, stay strong, everyone. Stay safe. Wear your seatbelt. Wear your helmet. Wear your mask. Don't put the flashlight behind you. Don't look in the haunted mirrors. Don't hack into people's stuff. Leave people's privacy alone. Unless if it's a bad guy, then you can hack into his stuff. But yeah, as always, have a nice day.